sea pigs and dirt dragons, enticing language, and a quiz. But don't worry, you can't fail. Hello, Uncanny Japan here. I took a month off, pre-recorded several episodes, and visited the States to see family and friends. I got back to Japan at the tail end of October. Here it is November 15th or thereabouts, and it's the first time I've sat down to write and record a new episode in about 2 months. It feels like 2 years. Everything has changed. So today, I want to be a little unserious for a moment, because we need that too. And I'm going to challenge myself to make you fall in love with kanji. You know, those complicated, pesky characters that have way too many different pronunciations and meanings and must be written in a certain stroke order with a certain balance or they look like crap. Yes, those. There will even be quizzes. Get back here. It's going to be fun. You know animals and how animals have names like fish and dog and hedgehog. And these names have meanings that we may or may not know right offhand. Let's take hedgehog. That one's easy. It's from Middle English. A hedge is where you can find these darlings, and a hog refers to their pig-like snout. Well, Japanese animals have Japanese names, of course, and they consist of one or more kanji. An easy example is squirrel, or risu in Japanese. The two characters that make up the word risu are chestnut and mouse. A chestnut mouse. Adorable. It kind of reminds me of that meme that went around years ago where people were renaming animals with clever little descriptions. A snake was a nope rope or a danger noodle. But in this case, these are the animals' real names in Japanese. So what exactly is a sea pig and a dirt dragon? Stick around and find out. Hey, this is Teresa Matsura and you're listening to Uncanny Japan. A gentle reminder to pick up the Book of Japanese Folklore by me if you're into that kind of thing. Or, you know, it's an awesome present for someone who also might be into that kind of thing. Or you could leave a review if you have one already. And I've got this tiny little goal to reach 100 reviews by Christmas. I've only got 30 left to go. If you like horror, there's my short story collection, The Carp-Faced Boy and Other Tales. Please consider the audio version, narrated by me. Hey, at least I get paid a little for that one. Yeah, that's a long, sad, angry story. Oh, and finally, do check out the wickedly wonderful comic, Knights vs. Samurai. The first 2 issues are out, and number 3 is coming soon. So let's get into today's irreverent excitement, where you'll learn some silly facts that you can use to impress your family and friends. It sounds like study, but I promise it'll be hilarious. Quick, go grab a pen and paper. And if you want to try and guess the answers, have your handy pause finger ready. Alrighty then, let's start with the title of the show. What animal does the kanji for ocean and pig together make? What is a sea pig? If you want a hint, the Japanese is iruka. I know, it sounds nothing like how you'd think sea pig would be pronounced. The answer is dolphin, of course. I mean, they do have that distinctive nose, right? A sea pig, however, is different from a river pig. Yes, that's an animal, specifically a fish, too. So what is a river pig? This one's hard. I never would have guessed it. If someone walked up to me on the street before today and asked, "Hey you, what's a river pig?" I never would have gotten it right because I thought these were ocean fish. Ready? The hint? Think dangerous sushi. Yep, the answer is fugu, or blowfish. Evidently, blowfish can survive in brackish waters, not all the way up a river, but near the sea. We're learning so much today, aren't we? So I guess the person who named the fugu might have been sitting at an estuary, gazing into the water, when they noticed this cute little fish that they then go and poke with a stick. It inflated itself, and that person leapt to their feet and ran all the way home to tell everyone about the river pig that they just discovered. Fugu, river pig. While we're on the topic of rivers, what do you think a river horse would be? If you're familiar with the Greek etymology of animals, you have an advantage here, because it is probably taken straight from that, seeing as how these animals aren't indigenous to Japan. River horse. Hint: ka is river, ba is horse. Kaba. Very good. A river horse is a hippopotamus. Did you know hippos means horse in Greek and potamus means river? Me neither. I had no idea. Next. Let's go back to the sea for a moment. What, my friends, is the animal that in Japanese uses the two kanji for sea and mouse, or ocean rat? You might get this one. You have to be creative in your thinking, though. I actually kind of like the English word for this creature a little better. Hint: rats scurry around on the ground. What scurries around on the ocean floor? The answer? Namako, or sea cucumber. Sea cucumbers in Japanese are ocean rats. Next is sea or ocean moon, a beautiful word for a beautiful sea creature. The English word isn't as lovely, but pretty spot on with its description. Hint: kurage in Japanese, otherwise known as a jellyfish, because they do look like beautiful moons in the sea, or possibly someone looking down into the water and seeing one, thinking it was a reflection of the moon. Kurage, sea moon. Next is one that I've known about forever, but totally thought it had different kanji until just this past week when I looked it up. Since we did sea moons, jellyfish, what do you think a sea star is? Yes, it's super easy if I say it that way. A sea star is a starfish, but in Japanese it's pronounced hitode, which I had always assumed meant person hand because it's sort of shaped like a person's hand. I've been wrong for 35 years. Side note, many of these are also written in katakana, so without the kanji. Katakana is used for words borrowed from other languages, and it's easy to read, but there's no deep meaning behind it. So there's probably some adult Japanese out there who don't know all of these because they've only learned the katakana, not the kanji. Maybe. Okay, back to work. One more ocean-related name that's a tad bizarre. The creature's pronunciation doesn't change, but it has 3 different names. The characters all change depending on if it's existing happily in the wild or you're fixing to pour soy sauce all over it and wolf it down. Okay, here we go. Name number 1. The 2 characters are sea again, and the kanji for gallbladder. What on earth, or sea, could a sea or ocean gallbladder be? Hint: it's delicious. Well, I'm not personally a big fan, but some people love these. Name number 2 is also used when the bugger is still alive. Even more of a hint. A huge hint, actually. It's the kanji for sea and chestnut. You got it, didn't you? Let's go on to name number 3. This is when it's on your plate, and it's called red cloud. That's a good hint too, huh? A red cloud. Give up? It's uni, or sea urchin. More of a golden cloud, I would say, but red sounds good enough. The next animal you'll find in water, but it's a mammal. There's no sea or river or water in its name. It's written hunting tiger. I had no idea where the tiger part came from, but then I did read in one place where it comes from the Ainu language in Hokkaido. A hunting tiger in Japanese is the cute little rako, or sea otter. Here's a fun one. It's not sea or river again, but just water. Water and pig. Boy, people thought everything looked like pigs back in the day, didn't they? What's a water pig? I can't even think of a good hint without giving it away. It's a capybara, which is the same in Japanese, actually, capybara. You'll mostly find it written in katakana because that's easy. But we don't go easy here, do we? No, we don't. I guess it's time for a little homework. Your homework is to go to your Japanese friend or friends and write the kanji for water and pig. You might need to practice a few times. Then ask them, what animal is this? I'm curious how many will know. You'll definitely garner some respect after that, though, especially if you get the stroke order right. Maybe they'll take you out and buy you some red cloud to eat. Okay, let's do another water one before we move to land. What could the characters for sea and tanuki mean? Ocean raccoon dog. Again, as God is my witness, I thought these animals only lived in or near rivers. But a quick search told me that they are strong swimmers who, and I quote, are known to cross significant spans of salt water. They aren't indigenous to Japan, so probably when they were brought here, they were given this cute little moniker without too much thought. All right, are you ready? A sea tanuki is a beaver. Isn't learning fun? Moving on. Let's scoot away from the sea. Remember I mentioned dirt dragons or earth dragons? How about we tackle that one? But don't worry. Hint, this isn't some big old dragon, but rather a sort of cuddly, elusive one. Another hint? These dirt dragons do a lot of damage in the dirt, tearing through it. Yes, you are correct. A dirt dragon is a mogura, or a mole. Some poor farmers in ancient Japan wake up to find their crops all torn up. Darn it, the dirt dragons struck again. Staying on land, we have 3 characters now that are the same in Chinese, so you can impress your Chinese friends too. Anyway, what do you imagine a big bear cat is? It can also be written just bear cat and mean the same thing. I think China was the big hint on this one. A big bear cat is a giant panda, in which there is also a small bear cat, and that would be a lesser panda in Japanese, or a red panda in English. Okay, I'll end with another non-native to Japan animal, usually written in katakana, but it does in fact have kanji, at least 2 sets if you want to be picky about it. The first name has 3 characters, long-tailed donkey. If that doesn't ring a bell, how about bag mouse? Exactly. Put them together and you have a long-tailed donkey that is a bag mouse. It's a kangaroo, literally pronounced kangaroo in Japanese, but it can be written either long-tailed donkey or bag mouse. Okay, I lied. Let me do two more related creatures whose names describe what they do. They're not gross or weird or not even really funny. They're kind of nice. One is the house protector. What animal could possibly protect your house? The second one is the well protector. Gee, I wonder what that could be. Ready? A yamori is the house protector. It's a gecko or a house lizard. And an imori, you can see this coming, is a salamander or a newt because they like to hang out in water. So if you ever run across a gecko on your ceiling or a newt in your well, just leave them be. They're doing you a service. They're keeping you and your house and your well safe. Okay, wait, don't go yet. One more. I can't stop myself. It'll be quick, I promise. All right. So, in the same ballpark as gecko and newt, that's your hint, 3 characters. What is a rock dragon child? A rock dragon child. Did you get it? If you said tokage or lizard, you'd be right. Congratulations and thanks for playing. Now, go show off to your friends. Make bets with your Japanese friends. If you want to see the kanji for each animal, I put them up on the show notes on the Uncanny Japan website. Everyone, please hang in there. Stay safe and well, and I really mean it. Consider becoming a patron if you can, because I'd like to meet you and know you better. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you again in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.